You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture and all things related to it. New episodes are released daily. For more information, check out glossahouse.com and subscribe to our channels on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Proof Text. I am Michael Halcomb and I'm here with J.M. Smith. And we're going to look at a very, very interesting passage today for our 10 questions episode. You might need to get like a wet cloth to just, dab your forehead because it's going to get a little heated. Not between any argument between me and JM or anything, but the passage is full of heat, is what I mean. So and with that, the idea with the 10 questions episode, I get 5 questions, JM gets 5. We ask 10 questions of a verse or a couple of verses, and we don't really give answers. That's the rule. So you just get to see us struggle with and wrestle with Scripture, which is a beautiful thing. So today, if you're watching, I'm going to put on the screen here, and you're seeing it with JM for the first time. We're looking at Song of Solomon, or Song of Songs, chapter 7, verses 8 and 9. Yeah, so this is a pretty steamy verse we've got going on here. And I'll read verse 8 and then also 9, and from the NIV. Your stature is like that of the palm, and your breasts like clusters of fruit. I said, I will climb the palm tree. I will take hold of its fruit. May your breasts be like clusters of grapes on the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples. That last one's funny to me. The apple breath. So yeah, wow. JM, you wanna bring the first question to the table or what?
Yes. My first question is, I've asked this before, but it's where I go immediately, always, when it happens, is why is this Song of Songs 7:8 in Hebrew and 7:7 in the Septuagint and 7:7 in English translations? Where did it get off? And like, question of this I ask this because it would make me then look at the song in both versifications to see if there's something put with something else, and if that affects the meaning. So not an exciting question, but that's always my first question when these Old Testament parts where the verse numbers are different.
Yeah. Great question. My and what you're seeing on the screen here doesn't reflect that. It doesn't show the different verse numbering. But I have a question. My first question would be, he says your breasts are like clusters of fruit. And the Greek we have votricine, which is like a cluster of grapes or a grape bunch. We have in the Hebrew, we have again a cluster of grapes. So I can ask so many questions here. I got to keep it PG. One, it's interesting to compare a pair of breasts to a cluster or a bunch of grapes. For me, the analogy kind of doesn't work, unless there are 2 grapes on the cluster. I don't know. Why this analogy between breasts and grapes? That's my first question. Then I have more questions related to this too, but that's the first question. Why this analogy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's that question makes me think of so what viewers or listeners can like be squirmish along with us. I want to know like is it so this is the word for breast the shadaic, so it's your two breasts, shad, but is that the word, I mean, is it talking about like your entire breast or is it talking about your nipple? Because it's like what you would suck from in like suckling is what part of the like animal teats is how it's used elsewhere and everything. And so if it's talking about the whole breast, then yeah, that would be a little, it'd be puzzling imagery. But if it's talking about just like the nipple, I mean, that wouldn't be too far off comparing it to grapes. So I don't know. Yeah, the imagery, that's what I would want to ask. And Ripken wants to join us, by the way. He was at my feet getting a little.
That's all right.
So he's going to join us for this discussion. What you think, Rip?
You might need to cover his ears for a few of these questions.
Right. Don't listen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my question. Is this talking about, is Shad talking about what part of the anatomy is it describing?
Okay. I guess I can see that. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, if that is the case, I mean, I was gonna I gotta like just be careful how I say this. What was he I trying to say it in the most appropriate way possible because I don't want to get in trouble. They're gonna be coming for my ordination credentials or something. But it is what it is. Like, if he's comparing this woman's chest to the breasts to grapes, the context seems like he's trying to affirm her. But I'm pretty sure if I said that to a woman today, your breasts are this you have grapes. Here's your breasts are the size of grapes. I might well get slapped by my wife, or was he not a chest man? That kind of thing. So yeah, that's another question. Is this an affirmation? If you're correct that it's referring to the tips, then
I'm asking. Don't say I'm saying that. We are asking 10 questions.
That's true.
I am
but
asking.
If that's correct, if your question is, the implication is correct of your question, then that makes sense. Otherwise, it seems a little bit like a slight. It seems like he's saying she's chestless. Yeah.
Because to piggyback on the question, is it talking about individual grapes or a cluster of? Because clusters of grapes can actually be huge, and
that's true.
Once again, clusters of grapes will hang down and they'll be big and heavy, and the more heavy and hanging the grapes are, the better the harvest. And like, it might not be super flattering today, but maybe back then that was that super flattering? Or my next question would be, is it even talking about appearance at all? Or is it talking about like the delight? Because the Eden imagery about fruit is everywhere in the song. And the fruit was, it was pleasing to look at in the garden, but it was also good to eat, and the taste and the enjoyment. So is there a line between, is he just checking her out and describing her appearance, or is he saying something even more than just the appearance, like the whole experience, like being in a lush vineyard? So that would be to kind of bring the question back around, or I guess that's my second question. Yeah, that's my second question.
What does he mean? I think that's third. That's second or third.
Is that my third question? That's my third question. Yeah. All right.
My third would be it's kind of interesting, invoking the Eden imagery. We often think that the fruit was an apple. So yeah, I'm wondering. So we got the tapuach here. Is that when he says that the fragrance of your breath, like apples? One, what does that mean? And two, is it invoking Eden imagery? Which to me would be a little awkward if it was, because that was a devastating scene, the eating of the apple there. So yeah, what is going on with this reference to apples? That's my next question, the number 3.
My fourth question is, why does how did NIV, let's see, let me scroll down. NIV translated the fragrant, may your breaths be like the clusters of the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples. The Hebrew, let them be, please, your breasts like the grape clusters of the vine, and your scent, and the scent of your nose, afeka or apeka, and the scent of your nose. So is that the normal way you talk about? I mean, breath is, that's the word for breath is ruach or nefesh, neshama, I think. I mean, there are other words for breath, but this says your nose.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Is it talking about what she's smelling, or is it talking about how something coming out of her nose smells? And we don't think about smelling somebody's nose breath.
Mm-hmm. I guess just a really simple question for me to ask here is, who are these people? Are these like real people? Is this like an Amish romance novel that gets repeated, like just fictional made up characters? Like, who are these people? That's my fourth question.
My last question. So it begins with, it says, this your stature, or this your height.
Yeah.
That's from to raise up, or I mean, kabah, like your, great height. I'm looking at the Hallett definition. Great height, tallness. Like most women today get really insecure if you're like, you're tall.
Yeah.
That's a thing that I know in our culture is not always a great thing to tell a woman. But in this, he's like comparing her to a palm tree, like a tree, super tall. And he says, I want to climb you and grab your fruit. Is she of large stature? Like, is he a short man and is she a tall woman? He does praise other things of her, like, comparing her breast to hanging fruit, and he compares later, or another part, I know, her belly to a mound of wheat, and her, like, so is it, my question in seriousness, is exaggerating the size of what you're talking about, is that part of the romantic imagery in that ancient culture? Or does she tower over him in some way? So is he admiring or exaggerating, I guess, is my question.
I guess my last question is, where would this have been read and shared, or acted or sung, or where would this piece of literature have found an audience? Around the campfire, like what's the setting where this would have gotten an ear? Is it like this is pre-synagogue days, or are they like sitting around the tents, or at night, and somebody's telling these savory stories? Like, where is this happening? Who would have been like, all right, honey, Valentine's Day just passed, honey, I'm taking you to a show tonight, you're gonna love it. Or the guys like, honey, stay home and watch the kids tonight. I'm gonna go out, and here's some storytelling. Go out and catch a show. Like, where is this being performed? Who's the audience for this?
Yeah. Great question.
So that's my fifth question. Good stuff, man. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for the questions there, JM. Fascinating stuff. Reminding me that I need to, I don't know, there's just not enough time to be doing deep dives into every nook and cranny of scripture, you only have so many hours in a day, but it's good to do these episodes because it's forcing me to look at passages that I haven't been spending much time with, preaching through. It took a year and a half and preached through Revelation, and then a year and a half through Genesis, and now we're a year and a half into Mark. Probably take another half a year. So I've been living in those books the last several years.
Next year, Song of Songs, baby.
Yeah,
Next
man.
Your sermon series.
We'll see. I have to visit some Methodist churches and see what they're doing, how they're exegeting these passages. Maybe them and the Episcopalians. But it's poking a little fun there at the same time. You could be critical of everyone else for avoiding, these passages, and they don't really get preached much. I've never preached from Song of Solomon or Song of Songs. Do you call it Song of Solomon or Song of Songs? Which one do you?
I call it it's literally the Song of Songs to Solomon, or for Solomon, or by Solomon, or of Solomon. But yeah, I say Song of Songs.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting stuff, man. Well, thanks everybody for watching and listening. We appreciate it. If you would, head over to Disciple Dojo YouTube channel and website. Check out all the stuff there. And then check out the proof text Glosa House channel as well, glosahouse.com. Incredible resources over there. You can even sign up for classes now. You can subscribe to our digital library. So lots of good stuff going there. Yeah. If you want to learn Greek, come learn conversational Greek with me. Fred Long's teaching a Greek exegesis course, how to do exegesis, and so we got a couple offerings coming up really soon. So yeah, head over to gloshouse.com and check out Gloss House U. All right, I'm gonna stop there for now, and we'll say I hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glosa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glosa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glosahouse.com today. Glosa House, language resources for the global community.